What's up, Guardians? Welcome to another Destiny gameplay video, and this is going to be episode 6 of my One Man's Trash series coupled with the Let's Talk. This is my painted moss artist I wanted to show off. Comes with Outlaw and hand-loaded. Those are the rolls I got on mine, and really had fun with it. It's a really solid blue hand cannon. There's nothing crazy about it, really, but it has a really good rate of fire. It procs for about 77 precision damage. And just all around, just a decently well-rounded hand cannon in the Crucible. Nothing crazy about it. It's obviously not a Thorn. It's not a Hawk Moon. But it's super well-rounded. It's super easy to use and relatively effective. So I had a lot of success using this weapon and then freeing up an exotic slot elsewhere in my loadout. So hopefully you enjoy watching the gameplay with this hand cannon. And I wanted to get right into the Let's Talk because, frankly, there's a lot to talk about after this week. I mean, this was a crazy week in the Destiny universe with all the news we got, with the recent update, and we'll start there. I want to hit both the update and the House of Wolves news. So let's start with the update, and I'm not going to cover everything in 112 just because, you know, some of the stuff doesn't relate to PvP, and I want to focus on the PvP-oriented stuff, so mainly the changes to the special weapon ammo. And this is kind of a big deal in the Crucible. You know, some people doubted it would be a huge change. Some people doubted that the effects would be that prominent, but you know, they really are. I mean, this is dramatically changed up the Crucible, and there's a little bit of a learning curve, to be honest, to the new Crucible because of these changes. This is a big deal. So I see some good and I see some bad. I think overall I like a lot of the changes, but there's also some stuff I don't necessarily care for. So let's start with the good. The good. Okay, so first and foremost, one of the main goals of this update was that it would limit the overuse of special weapons. And it has definitely done that. So I'm getting in way more primary weapon against primary weapon fights right now. And frankly, I love it. You know, I really, really do. I love getting into a fight with someone where we're just both using primary weapons, and it's left up to, you know, who's going to outplay the other person. That I really, really like. But well, I'll get to the downsides later. But so yeah, so there's a lot more primary weapon usage, and you know, maybe if you're in a team where you guys are just totally dominating the other team, maybe you're all partied up and you're playing against a bunch of randoms, then maybe you won't see the effects quite as much because you're kind of running the map, you're getting all the special ammo. So maybe in situations like that, you won't necessarily see much of a difference personally. But in the average match, at least all the matches that I've played so far, that hasn't been the case. There's just been a lot less special ammo. And, you know, they limited the number of crates, so there's obviously fewer crates. I mean, you look at this one here, and one of the things they did with these crates is they moved where they used to be, and now these crates are in sort of these really vulnerable positions. So that crate right there, for example, trying to pick that up, man, my blood pressure's really high while I'm standing out on that, you know, suspended platform because I'm just totally exposed waiting on that ammo to drop. So that's one of the biggest things you'll notice is the locations of these ammo crates. And some of these changes to where they're located. Take, for example, on Shores of Time. When you spawn at the sea spawn, right, the good spawn on Shores of Time, there's this green ammo box waiting for you by the rotunda. It's kind of pressed up against the rotunda, right? Very easy to grab that special ammo if you're going to capture sea from that spawn location, right? Well, that ammo box has now been moved. Not very much. It just got moved to the that big pillar that's in the middle of the sea spawn, right? You know, that big pillar that kind of obstructs that sight line from the sea spawn over to the B platform, right? Just over there by that rock that the snipers like to hide behind, right? That big pillar. They moved one of the ammo boxes over to that pillar. So it only moved like 10 feet. But the thing is, now that ammo crate can be seen from inside the rotunda and from the C objective point. So the people who spawn on A side can actually have a sight, you know, have a line of sight to that ammo box so that you're more exposed when you're picking it up, right? It's no longer behind cover relative to the C spawn. So that's what you're going to see. You're going to see these ammo crates are fewer and further between, and they're in some more vulnerable locations. So you're taking a risk even picking it up. You kind of have to check your radar and make sure no one's around. So that's one of the major changes, and it does really change the way that the map plays. And I think that will continue to develop how the maps are played as people get used to where these new locations are for these ammo crates. By the way, sorry if I seem out of breath. I woke up with a sore throat this morning and some shortness of breath. I'm maybe coming down with a cold or something, but that's neither here nor there. So anyways, the special weapon ammo. It's a big deal. Now, one of the concerns that people had right off the bat, and I've even seen this, one of my subs even kind of tweeted this at me this morning actually, is there going to be the abuse of the icebreaker and invective, since they regenerate their own special ammo? Well, you might see people using these weapons more frequently, but it's, I don't know, what do I want to say here? Those weapons aren't necessarily the best of their class. So, icebreaker kicks like a mule. It's not really the best PvP sniper. So if someone wants to use that because it regenerates ammo, that's fine. I'm not going to have big beef with that, just because there are a lot of sniper rifles out there that are much more effective than the icebreaker in PvP. Those are the ones I'm going to be fearful of. And the same thing goes for invective. Invective doesn't have ridiculous range to it. I mean, it's got good range, but it's not a ridiculously overpowered weapon. So the fact that it regenerates its own ammo, that actually kind of makes it a little bit more useful, gives it some more character in the Crucible now, but it's not necessarily something that's going to concern me. And I've gone up against people using both of these weapons since the update, and I haven't found it to be a real problem, honestly. Lastly, as far as the PvP is concerned, the downsides, like I said, there are some downsides to me. And basically, the downside is this. I don't think that sniper rifles were broken in the game. I don't think that they were overused or abused. But I think that the special weapon modifications now in this new update punish the sniper rifles for the over-abuse and over-usage of the shotgunners. And first and foremost, let me just say that I don't have anything against people who use shotguns as primaries. Those people, I don't have a distaste for them, because that's just the way that the game was balanced, right? And let me just say that numbers-wise, I've looked at a lot of people's stats on the forums and on Destiny Tracker, and I do that a lot. And I don't do it to judge people. I do it so that I can understand their Crucible context when I'm having conversations with them, right? And what I've seen as a trend, what I've seen is that this is super, super common for someone to have more shotgun kills in the Crucible than all primary weapons combined, right? So all primary weapons combined equals fewer kills than what they have with shotguns alone in the Crucible. That, to me, is that's the problem. So that's evidence of the overuse of shotguns, right? But what I rarely ever see is someone who has more sniper rifle kills than all primaries combined. I almost never see that. So to me, this update punishes the sniper rifle users for the over-abuse and the overuse of shotguns, specifically the one that is a little bit overpowered in the Crucible, Felwinter's Lie, which remains broken, right? It didn't get nerfed or patched or fixed, right? It just reduced the amount that someone can use that weapon. So that's the downside to me. Overall, I think it's an improvement, but that's a big drawback for me. So moving on, I want to talk about the House of Wolves. So one of the biggest things that people are now concerned about, obviously, is that there's no raid. So it's been replaced with the Prison of Elders, 3-person cooperative arena mode, whatever it's going to be, right? And long story short, because I do want to keep this video a little bit short. I don't want to go too long, but I can share my thoughts and opinions on this in writing on some other, on forum posts and stuff like that, I've been very vocal. But the bottom line for me is that Bungie continues to deliver some pretty compelling stuff. And I have full faith, given their history, that Prison of Elders is going to be kind of neat. And, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm at least going to wait to be super critical until we see the reveal in a few weeks, when they walk us through what the Prison of Elders is going to look like, how it's going to play out. Maybe at that point we can be like, okay, this is a big deal. But in the meantime, we can just have our hopes up and have faith in Bungie that this is going to be something that's pretty cool. I like the idea of it. It's going to have high replayability. That's a big deal to me, because honestly, I'm not raiding anymore. Maybe some of you PvE junkies are, but personally, I got all the gear, and I'm just really not too, I'm not too motivated to do the raids anymore. If I'm going to hang out with 5 other people, I'm going to do it in the Crucible. And that's just me. So I'm not playing the raids anymore. And so to have another raid, yeah, that would be cool. And I would play it quite a bit, I'm sure, for a month or two. But after that, I'm pretty much going to be done with it. Because the replayability, for me personally, just, it isn't there. So maybe having this new game type where they're really focusing on replayability, because what is it that the community's been crying about for months now? It's the fact that we just keep grinding the same things over and over and over. So do we want to perpetuate that? That's my question. Do we just want to perpetuate that and then complain about it again in a few months? Or would you rather get something fresh, something new, something that is specifically designed around the feedback that the community gave about the grind, right? And so now they're going to make something specifically for the purpose of being highly replayable, to be a different experience, various times that you go in there. So that's kind of my take on it. I don't want another, maybe at least right now, I don't want another raid. I mean, sure, it would be cool, but if I could trade it for something that is built deliberately to respond to the criticism of the grind in this game, then I would take that over a raid any day. So that's kind of where I'm at on it, guys. I hope this has been helpful, or maybe you can feel free to share your thoughts, your opinions in the comments section below. I do read them all. I try to respond to most of them too, so feel free to do that. So thanks for stopping by, guys. Feel free to subscribe to me if you haven't already, but only if you like the content. All right, have a good day, guys.